Hello, hello, hello. What's good, everybody? It is Tuesday night, so you already know it is time to get back into it. Sorry we're running a little bit late, but we're going to make it happen. And of course, the two making it happen with me tonight, the one, the only, this is Cinema. What's good, fandom? How we doing?
Yo, which Phantom's variant am I? The one that's not working at Amazon, or the one that is working at Amazon and sleep deprived right now?
He said, I'm
Both.
asleep. He said, it is all never ending. It is one Ouroboros going down, one never
hmm
ending circle. We're going to get into it. And of course, AK Ouroboros. What's happening tonight?
I am here, man. I'm a little banged up. Yeah, the old lady bones are acting up, but I'm here. Talk about this awesomeness that we just saw.
That's just it. We do it for the people. We do it for the fun. What's up? I see you out there, Jake Cruz, Linda R. How you doing? How you doing? You guys watched the Loki episode. How you feel about it? What are you thinking about it so far? We are going to talk about all things Loki, season 2, episode 1, Ouroboros today. And the Ouroboros is an ancient symbol of a snake, or less so a dragon eating its own tail. And
hmm
it's a symbol basically for infinity. And boy, did we get a lot of those this episode. Like there were infinity symbols all through this episode. Like,
May I give a tidbit from our childhood, or at least from my childhood?
yeah.
The Ouroboros is actually the symbol that's on that book in the Neverending Story.
Ooh,
Okay. There you go. I did not even know that one. What a weird movie that was. So creepy.
It was, but I loved it. It was one of those cheesy late '80s movies for kids that some of it didn't make any sense, but just like Labyrinth, it's a classic.
Yeah, it's a classic. It was a wild one. That one weirded me out a little bit. But yeah, this one also had me wondering if this season's gonna have us like running in circles chasing our own tails, because like there was some weird stuff happening this episode. Like I don't know. It's like it was crazy. We get it started right where we left off with Loki return to a completely different timeline, one in which Mobius has no recollection of ever meeting this variant. And it also opened with a statue with Kang's face on it. Or was that? Like, is this just another form of He Who Remains, or is this an altogether different Kang that rules now, AK? What do you think?
I believe that is a different king.
You think it's a whole different Kang?
I think He Who Remains will highly likely be back in some shape or form, but I don't think that statue was him.
How you feel about that, fandom? We have what?
Loki. I don't even. Loki. I don't even know anymore. Who was this Kang? Who's that Kang? At all anymore. But I'm still on that. I still like that theory that the Ant-Man Kang ends up becoming the He Who Remains. Though I do like that.
There you go. I like that. Yeah, I think that too. We're going to go into that a little bit. But when Loki gets surrounded, he pulls a Lilo and jumps over the balcony with nothing more than a hope and a prayer. And were either one of you guys getting some Fifth Element vibes when he did that move?
That was the first thing on my
Ah,
mind. That was the absolute first thing that was on my brain. That and Total Recall because of that little cab situation that he fell into.
That
Remember the
was
Johnny Cabs in that movie on Mars?
yeah. Yep. Yeah, that was the first thing I thought of was just that was a total Lilu move. They just
Big bada boom.
straight stole that scene from Fifth Element. I was like, God dang. And was that a nod to Thanos showing like this is the new big bad when that vehicle Loki landed in, like scratched a chunk off that statue's face?
Mm.
Like all that for a drop of blood. Like, almost, I don't know. That's kind of what I got. It just seemed like a nod to that. Like, okay, here's the new big bad. Check this out. But poor Casey, just trying to listen to some peaceful self-help tapes, like on his Walkman while he shines floors. Like, he probably crapped his pants when Loki came smashing through that window in the back of that vehicle like that.
I mean, I would
Hmm.
too now. A vehicle just comes out of nowhere into the window.
Are you kidding me? You're just lost into your music and boom. And then once Loki crawled out of the back, like it plummeted to its end. Like you heard a thud. Like, we heard that vehicle hit the ground. But Loki said, "Oh, the driver will be fine." Like, is that true or was she toast? Because she was screaming pretty loud on the way down, AK.
How could she be fine? Like we don't know what the lower levels of that place looks like.
And it didn't seem like it wasn't way up.
And yeah, it didn't even seem like there wasn't and like nah, man, she's not okay. Poor girl's probably still falling right now.
Man, I feel like no, we heard the thud. I feel like they kind of just glossed over that probable death because we heard it hit the ground and it didn't sound pretty.
Oh, I thought she had just smashed into something else.
Oh, maybe it could. I don't know, man. That was crazy. I was like, they're just gonna gloss over that death. It's like, okay, Disney, that was nuts. But when Casey said, I got him, I got the intruder, I thought maybe that little device he had pulled out, like that had sent Loki to some holding cell, but we see he was just pulled to another time or place in time. And then we see that it's the same room with Casey still in it. It's just now that he's in the future. And he can tell that by the crack in the floor that just happened by the monitor falling off on that he was the cause of. So my thing was, he asked Casey about the crack in the floor, and Casey said it's been there as long as he could remember, which choice phrase of term there, as long as he could remember. And we just saw him cleaning that floor before it was cracked. Like he was just cleaning it. It wasn't cracked. And now he's sitting there telling Loki that as long as he can remember, it's been cracked. So are they definitely just telling us right then and there that they're erasing everybody's minds in the VAs?
Absolutely.
At one point, I thought that, but then when we get to that OB scene, it's like it's not like fully catched up yet. Like he knows the crack has always been there, but then if he was like Loki was still a bit longer, he would have been like, wait a minute, it was you who created it. Just like OB with the whole machine thing is like, wait, I had this conversation before. Oh yeah, well it was with Loki. So
right.
That's if it was the same TVA though. I don't think it was the same TVA.
That's interesting. My thing is when OB was doing, he said no, and then he thought about it, and then as Loki was telling him, he was starting to remember in the future, and then he was like, "Oh, wait a minute, this guy, Casey was just straight like, no, it's been like that as long as I can remember. Like there was no hesitation. He's just like, hey, what's up, Alan Iverson? I see you out there, Alan Vanderson.
Alan, what's going on, kid?
It's been a minute." But yeah, it's so I don't know. I don't think it was the same situation. And I think the way OB does that is kind of showing us that OB is like, yeah, we're gonna talk about it, but I think he's the one person there that doesn't get his mind.
Remembers everything. Yep. That was exactly my thought too.
Yeah.
I'd be side-eyeing him. Like, I don't know. I know he's a
Oh,
beloved
he's sus.
Like,
He's hella sus.
he can be just a low-key king in like the sky for all I know, man.
Like, homie, you always taking care of the work orders. You never sleep. Like, do you eat? Do you even need to?
Never stops.
Yeah, he hella sus.
So basically, is he just another Miss Minutes? Is he even human?
Now that is the question. I wouldn't put him on the same plane as Miss Minutes, but there is definitely the possibility of him not being human or being some type of advanced, enhanced human.
Because we've already seen Miss Minutes jump straight out of screens and be in reality just doing shit. So,
but she was still in cartoon form. Right. That's what I'm saying. I don't think they're the same type of entity. I think she is the way she is for a specific reason, and whatever we find out about him, it's going to be a very specific reason, like to either just him or to whoever his people are, if he's not human.
Yeah, Obi never had his mind swiped. He never comes out of his room.
Never sleeps, never eats. Yeah, like, do you even need to go use a toilet, sir? Do you even know what that is?
Just something weird about that cat. But right out of the gate, we see Loki keeps time slipping. Any guesses as to why that keeps happening, Phantom?
Because ever since the whole situation between He Remains, like I think that's what's happening.
You think it has to do with like Sylvie pushing him out that time portal and it being the same one that it was He Who Remains as time pad that she used to do it, so that's why it's happening? Are you kind of on that same page, AK?
I'm
like, why do you think he keeps time slipping like that? Why do you think it's making him do that?
I don't think it's necessarily from him. I think it's a side effect of possibly what another variant is doing. And it could also be like a different time thing, like just how he went back in time. And for him, it's his present, but for Ouroboros, it's his past. So I think somewhere else that same type of situation is happening, but because he's jumping around and trying to fix whatever he's trying to fix, the one that we're seeing is being like time swiped back and forth. And it's tinfoil. I have no real proof for it, but I think there's probably other variants of him that are going through the same thing. We're just not seeing them yet.
Oh, absolutely. It's going to get so wonky with this season. I think anytime you start dealing with timelines and different time travel, it's going to get crazy because now anything can happen at any time. You don't know what's real. And again, like we already know there's a multiverse, so there's going to be different Lokis. So is the multiverse going on? Are there different variants? We already know that these guys, like last year, that's one of the things they did. They went around to different timelines, killing different Lokis because Lokis were always messing stuff up. So we already know that there's a ton of different Lokis out there. So yeah, they could go crazy with it. That's going to be nuts. And we already, I mean, at least I saw, I don't know, spoiler alert, close your ears for 2 seconds. But I mean, we already saw in the other preview or the preview when they were showing like what was going to happen in the trailers of Loki. We've seen him do the spaghetti thing in other scenes. So whatever just happened in this episode, it's not done or cleaned or fixed. Like that's going to keep happening.
Because really, when he got Prudent thing out and he came back, I was like, oh, good, we fixed it. But then at the same time, I'm like, wait a minute. In the trailers, he's still doing it in other episodes. Like, what's up?
So it can't be fixed yet. Exactly. So one of the bummers about seeing the trailers already, but I don't think it's going to be that big a spoiler. It'll work out. But Mobius and B-15 are watching the branches grow exponentially, and she is like ready to tell the rest of the agents like the truth of what's been going on. And Mobius isn't quite sure they'll be able to handle the truth. Like, what do you do in that situation, AKA? Because like basically you're going to tell everybody's reality is not what they thought.
It's basically like letting somebody get too old to pull them out the matrix. Past a certain age, the human mind is not going to be able to take that easily or lightly at all. They could very well go crazy. For what the TVA is doing right now, though, I feel like those people deserve to know, and I think B-15 and Owen Wilson, I think they went about that doing that as best they could.
I'm a big champion of truth. I'm always like, truth is hard to handle. You're not always going to like it. It's not always pleasant, but the truth is always the truth. Like you just go with it and let it ride. I mean, that's I'm with her. I let it happen. But yeah, that'd be rough. Casey tells him that he just said he just told Loki that he just disappeared right in front of him, which was a lie because it was behind him. But anyway, Mobius tries to use Miss Minutes to locate him, but says Miss Minutes is not working. Like, that was a clever choice of words. So is Miss Minutes, like, really not working and walked off the job? Or is Miss Minutes, like, real and, like, is she just off for the day? Or is she a program that's just offline at the moment and broken? Like, if so, is it because of the sacred timelines overflowing? Like, what's happening with Miss Minutes, Phantom?
I think she's always been just taking orders from He Who Remains. And since He Who Remains is dead, she's offline.
She said about. Is he the one that was keeping her working?
Yeah, that's my suggestion of it.
How do you feel about that, AK?
That or she's with Renslayer.
That makes a lot of sense.
Possible that she could be with Renslayer. I was going to say that she found whoever the next king in line in her record books. She just went to him.
Like I said, I like that it was a clever choice of words when he just said Miss Minutes is not working. So she just off.
It's a double meaning. I mean, she could just be off that day, or she legit is not working because she's not there anymore, period.
Or because it was like He Who Remains that was making her work, and now that he's dead, she's just off on her own or not there at all. Or yeah, I can't wait to see it.
I saw the season trailer, so
oh, you know there's more coming. Okay, there you go.
Yeah, we'll have to see how the chips fall on that one.
You got to have Miss Minutes. I mean, she's probably the third best character in this series. So yeah, you got to have Miss Minutes back. But X5 said with Renslayer missing, there's a new judges council. Like, where is she and when will she be back, AK?
I think we actually see her in this episode. It's just very, very blurry. Shout out to Lady Diligence for that theory.
Okay. Oh, do you think she's?
I think she's the one that pruned Loki.
Loki. Oh, we're gonna get to that. Nice. I like that. Oh man, where do you think Renslayer is right now, Phantom?
Well, thanks to Funko, they kind of spoiled it for me. I know where she is.
Oh, okay.
Then again, I think the trailer also tells you. I think doesn't the trailer shows us during the timeline of Victor Timely?
So she's back in the olden days with Victor
Timely?
I think I did see something with her in like an olden dress. So I didn't know if that another variant, an older variant of her, or is that this Renslayer? So yeah, I don't know how they're going to tie that one in. Yeah, that'll be interesting. We got to find out what's going on with her in Miss Minutes. Where they at? If poor Casey didn't miss his pants the first time, I'm guessing he definitely did the second time. Loki just popped up screaming right in front of his face. Like, I'm with Mobius. That would be terrifying. That just happened.
Mm-hmm.
That would be awful. And I need to do a rewatch of season 1 because when old boy came out of the war room and apologized to Mobius, like I had totally forgotten that he was the one that pruned him in the first place. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to go ahead. I'm gonna have to go back and freshen up and remember what was what in that first season. But Loki makes it to the war room, but it's in the past, and I wonder just like how far back in the past that was. Like he's bouncing back and forth between the past and the future, and they're already getting crazy with these timeline scenarios. Because later we meet Ouroboros, but he's not a totally trustworthy reference either, because he said to Mobius he hadn't had a visitor in like 400 years, and that he was like that. Mobius was his last one, but we also saw him learning on the fly when Loki was having conversations with him in the past. So is Loki like over 400 years in the past when he's going back talking to him?
That's what I think.
Yeah, it's possible. I thought you said like I haven't seen you like in 400. Then he said 1,000. Am I like remembered something?
I don't remember that. I don't remember that.
1,000?
Yeah,
Maybe not.
Yeah,
Jake remembers everything and like
no,
right
he
now
said
trivia.
it's been 400 years, and then what's his name, Morbius? He said it feels like 1,000.
Okay,
Oh, it feels like 1,000. There you go. Yeah.
I'm gonna go where it was actually 1,000.
Wow, that's great.
In
Yeah, but we
reality,
already know that Mobius, his mind has been erased, so he can't
yeah.
really remember. And for some
Mhm.
reason, oh boys wasn't. He remembered everything perfectly. So that was interesting. Loki sees a recorder on the wall, and he starts to play back the tape, which is of Kang and talking to Renslayer and thanking her for being on his team. Wasn't there like an episode last season where Mobius like walked into Renslayer's office and it wasn't an extra glass, but they had those extra rings from the glass on the thing, and she said it was from him. But I got the feeling like she was lying, and it kind of seemed like he felt like she was lying, like he thought that there was some other secret agent. Like you remember that?
I do.
There was somebody else. So does that? Do you think that extra person that was maybe making those rings was Kang, or He Who Remains?
Possible. Highly possible.
I mean, was that when that and when they were having that drink, do you think maybe that's when that tape was made? That's what I got.
It feels like it's older than that to me.
Oh, even older, farther back than that.
Yeah, like in the very beginnings, because he's talking about I would be honored or privileged or whatever this he said to rule beside you. So I think it's older than what we know.
Oh, I like that. B-15 is trying to explain why they can no longer prune timelines, and all they're really doing is committing mass murder by doing so. But Liza Aaron seems to be okay with that. Like, she wants things to return to normal. And after hearing the truth, like, why would she want to return to the old ways? Like, how much does she really know? And is she like a general in this organization? Like, she's a general in this organization, so it seems like she should know pretty much everything that's going on, fandom. So what's up with this woman?
See all those damn pins on her damn vest.
All the medals on your jacket.
She's like the type that just wants to stick to like the routine, the norm, and that was it. Like she doesn't want to go back to like the quote unquote truth or the matter. As opposed to everyone else in the room, they're like, "Yeah, we've been living a lie. Wake up."
So, but
And what's
she's
up with her in X5?
yeah,
That's like the new Sweet Robin.
Right. See,
Well, look at her.
that's
She was like
exactly the gist
hollering
that
in
I
the
got.
bit. I was like, "Oh no, don't tell me
I
go
was
see
like,
her."
hold on, bro. Is this your mom?
Oh, that's the new Cliff and Donna. They're just gonna be kissing next episode.
Oh, don't speak that into existence. Come on, man.
That's gonna be oh, we got a new Cliff and Donna situation. That is just yeah, I don't know. That's I don't know why she would want to keep things the same or why she'd do it unless she already knew that that's what it was. Because she whispered to old boy later, she's like, even though they were a lie, their message wasn't. So what was their message, AK?
I don't know. I guess it's to follow that rule to keep the golden timeline or whatever. But I'm starting to wonder where she's concerned now. Like, was she ever mind swiped?
Or does she remember?
Because why would she have any direct connection to X5? because that's like genuine affection that we've not seen between anyone working in the TVA before.
I almost feel like it is kind of like a mother son combo that got brought in together. Like maybe they were going to do something together that was going to mess up the timeline, so they both got pruned and brought in as agents.
But why wouldn't their minds have been swiped so they forget that connection? That's what I'm questioning.
Maybe, yeah, I don't know. Or maybe they just know there's a connection. They just feel it, but they're not sure what it is. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
They're going to have to
that.
explain that. What's that, Phantom?
I'm going with that. Like they probably have a connection. They just don't know it yet.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to have to explain that and go into it. So, all
Mhm.
stuff coming, things to wait for. But it was nice to see a judge notice the error of their ways and take like a chance with change. Like she said, she had always ruled with the same verdict, guilty, and the timekeepers deemed it so. So, over a couple hundred years, shouldn't she like became a little sus a little sooner than this? AK.
You would think.
I mean, come
You
on.
would think, but I feel like the number one rule in their employee handbook is don't ask questions.
Yeah, that seems pretty.
Just follow the script, do what you're supposed to do, and that's it.
Well, at least it was good to see Fenn alive and unburnt and working again. So that was cool. But are they related? Like, yeah, I don't know. That mother son thing, I don't know. There's definitely something going on with those two. They're going to have to explain that. And they're gearing up to head to the end of time to find Sylvie and see what really transpired. And again, like, why is General Doc so hellbent on returning things to the way they were? Like, I don't know. Maybe she's just a crazy, like, she just likes committing mass murder, or I don't know. I think she must know something that we don't know. And that's why she thinks they have to get the timeline back instead.
Yep, that's exactly what I think. That's why I also think that her memory is completely intact.
Yeah. I mean, if you're going to be doing stuff like that, there's going to have to be a handful of people that know the truth, or else what's the point of anything? So there's going to have to be at least a handful of people that know what's going on from John. But Mobius wants to know how Loki just keeps appearing, and he says that at the time TVA that it doesn't work like that. There is no past or future, only the now. But the fact that Loki keeps traveling back proves that Mobius has it wrong. So is time all out of whack because Miss Minutes is missing, or is it something else? Like, why is Loki time slipping right now, Phantom?
At what part of the episode I'm talking about right now?
Just in general. Like, I mean,
because it's something to do with the whole death of Hero Mans. Because before then he was fine, but the moment Sylvie killed Hero Mans and then pushed him back, something happened there. Something triggered.
That's when it started happening. You think that was funny?
That, or it could just be something like within the future that we just have not seen yet, and that's why it's still happening. And we just thought that pruning him near the end of the episode was going to is the solution, but in reality, it wasn't the solution. That's why it's still going within the later episodes.
It was funny. Loki's like, we need to deal with he who remains, and Mobius is like, well, right now I need to get Loki to remain. Like, you keep disappearing. Like, dude, the back and forth between those two this whole episode was so fluent. I was loving it. And then after the whole conversation and Loki disappearing and reappearing, Mobius comes clean and tells Loki it's horrifying and really freaking him out. And then asks, like, what do you think? And it pans out to the lady in the corner of the elevator, just completely freaked out and standing there. I was dying. That was amazing. Didn't even think there'd be somebody on the elevator in that scene. That's I love that. But also funny to see like Mobius kind of half irritated and half concerned about not being able to remember having his memory wiped. Like, yeah, that's kind of the point, Mobius. I don't know. The writing's pretty clever in this. And to that point, like he takes Loki to some rarely traveled part of the TVA to talk with OB. And while there, we notice Mobius like seems off. He couldn't remember a lot of the details of his relationship with OB. He couldn't remember the last time he was down there, but OB remembered everything. And like, I don't know. It's like he couldn't even remember the nickname that he called him. Like, is that because of the memory wipes, or is that because he didn't even come up with that nickname? It was actually Loki who gave him that nickname back in the day.
That's what I was about to say. I think he's ad-libbing there and trying to go with the flows to make himself seem like less suspect.
What exactly is OB? Like, we were wondering, like, what do you think he is, Phantom? Is he human? Like, he said he's been there over 400 years. He never sleeps or takes a break. Like, how is that possible if he's human?
Then again, have you seen anyone so far in a TVA sleep? So I really don't think but two, it's like I'm side-eyed in OB. I'm really side-eyed in him. Like again, he could just be, just that devoted to his work like everyone else. But at the same time, I'm like, no one visits you. Always constantly working. Is that my future in Amazon?
Oh, bringing it home. Yeah, I don't know. They said there. I mean, time works different here. There is no past. There is no future. There is only now. So maybe it could be because if maybe you never age, maybe time doesn't exist. Maybe this is the stop point at the middle of the universe, and there is no time. It's just
I
a stop
mean, they
point.
shouldn't age since he just said I haven't seen you in 400 years.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. I mean, 400 years doesn't eat, doesn't stop, doesn't sleep. I mean, maybe that's because you really don't need to, because this is just like like I said, middle of the universe black hole gap where time is irrelevant. Like there is no time. I mean, what other explanation is it?
I think actually now that I'm really thinking about it, I think it is possible that he could be human with maybe some special perks in the TVA contract. Because sometimes, well, most times, there are things that you cannot stop. Like there's these certain amount of things that will always happen no matter what you do. And maybe he's like one of the only constants that has to stay where he is, and he does have to remember everything because he's literally like the record book. Like, how many copies of the freaking handbook did he say he wrote with all the instructions for everything? And it's for two. There's one in each desk on the TVA. Like that's a lot of writing
But he's
and a
also
lot
been
of
there.
ideas to keep up with.
Sounds like he's like thousands of years old though. Like he's older
Yeah.
than Yang. I mean,
Oh shit! No, they can't be doing that.
it's,
There's a character that in the comics does not make a lot of appearances. I think it's only documented like 3 different times within the whole of the Marvel continuity that this character has been in a book, and usually there's about to be some extracurricular hinky shit going down, and he's literally the most powerful person in the whole universe.
the one above all.
The one, yes, and I'm thinking maybe he's playing this Ouroboros just as a disguise. And that's why he knows everything. I don't think it's tinfoil.
Yeah,
I'm probably overthinking it, but it could fit.
I mean, we're looking for answers. That's one of them. I love how Mobius was able to figure out that Loki was talking to Obi in the past, and that's how he's like taking a second to realize things. And also, like, how great was that conversation between Obi and Mobius? Like, Mobius was like, "Wait, first you say that it's not that dangerous. Now you're talking about skin being peeled off my face. Like, if you know that's an option, are you even taking that chance for the likes of Loki fandom?"
Hell nah, I love my skin.
I'm not trying to get it peeled off. Are you kidding me? We're like, yeah, sorry, bro. You're gonna be bouncing between timelines for a few. I'm kind of attached to my skin that way.
That was like almost like a running gag throughout the rest of the episode of like his skin getting peeled off, him riding it on one of the monitors.
That was amazing. That was amazing.
That's also low key another Fifth Element callback. Because remember when they were making Lilu, they had to literally like graft on the skin in that machine that they had her in. Interesting.
But I'd forgotten how good the back and forth between these two were. Like when they were arguing about who was going to have it worse, like I was just giggling my ass off. At least you get to live. He's like, live? What's the quality of life with no skin?
The banter is always choice.
Oh, man, that's great. Then the light flickers, and Mobius said it's been doing that all day. And then, I don't know, OB kind of freaked out about that. Why wouldn't he have noticed that before this, since it's been doing it all day, okay?
I don't know. It's probably not been consistently happening. And when I say that, I mean that it's not just always on that flash mode. Like it happens for maybe a couple minutes, then it stops. Then it goes on the fritz again, and then it stops. So I think he wasn't thinking about it because when the conversation first started, it wasn't blinking.
But then, to be a pretty big deal. It worried him immediately if he headed out to check out the timeline. Like he freaked out about it.
So that's why I think it didn't come up like right away.
But OB said there's a TVA handbook on every desk in the TVA, and this seems like news to Mobius. Like OB tossed one back and Loki caught it. Like, will he read it to gain some idea on how to beat who he remains fandom?
Now, here is why I needed to rewatch the episode, because this part, it like baffled me, rethinking about it. Like Mobius didn't know about this handbook.
Yeah, right.
So that's
Oh,
like
didn't he
weird.
have a death gift sometime?
But him of all people, like, wouldn't he like know about this handbook?
And have read it and had it memorized.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Him
he's
of
like
all.
one of the top agents or so. So
Mhm.
it's I'm side-eyed in that.
And
But
then
then
was go ahead.
like this whole season is gonna be about like truly like what came first, the chicken or the egg.
Yeah.
Exactly. The Ouroboros of it all. First, I thought it
Morse code with
was.
the light. That's an interesting take. I like that.
Yeah, I love that. That's pretty cool. Somebody trying to, and it could be maybe one Loki trying to talk to another one. That'd be amazing. He'll be freaked out when he heard it was happening. Yeah, exactly. All over the.
Mm-hmm.
So is OB the one who created the temporal loom? Like he said, it wasn't made to handle so many different timelines at once. Like, did He Who Remain have OB construct this loom specific to his needs, like a more tapered down timeline than what it would be if you let everything happen?
Starting to think he's like one of like the people, like the very first people, like Renslayer. It was Renslayer, then it was like OB. He just knows way too much.
Because that's what I think too. I think it sounds like OB has been around from the beginning. Like he said, Miss Minutes ran everything, and he just did diagnostics every couple hundred of years. So, like, is OB just a program like Miss Minutes, or is he human? And if he's human, again, how has he been around for hundreds of years, like thousands of years?
Maybe he wrote the program that is Miss Minutes.
Yeah, that's interesting. I don't know. Mobius is not feeling this mission to save Loki from time slipping. Like he's become rather attached to his skin, and he is not looking forward to the chance of it maybe being peeled off. Like, yeah, the running gag that they're doing throughout this whole episode was amazing. Then OB breaks down what Mobius needs to do, and he just gives like a weak thumbs up back. He's like, his head's all down. He's like, he was just sick, dude. He looks so defeated about that. I would too. I'm a fan of him. I'm like, I don't know, man. You might just be time slipping, Loki. I'm not dealing with it. Love how matter of factly OB is about everything too. Like he's just like, yeah, you have about an hour. Then that rock hits the window. He's like, you have about 5 minutes.
You got 5 minutes.
Dude, like this may be the end for me. Can I get my extra 55 back? Like, dude, this is ridiculous.
And then sends him out with freaking duct tape on his visor.
Oh my god, are you going out there with that AK?
Absolutely not. It's a gamble whether I'm gonna go in the first place. But once that happens, nah, bro, my hazmat suit cannot be compromised going into the freaking time slipstream. No, thank you.
You underestimate the power of duct tape now.
I do not underestimate the power of duct tape. I know how strong it is. However, in that situation right there, nah, bro. Nope. Hard pass.
You're not going to tell me about that much radiation peeling my skin off and then send me out with some duct tape over my face.
Some duct tape, yeah.
No. No. Renslayer may not be the first director either. Yeah, Kane offered the job to Loki. Maybe this is a there you go.
Mm-hmm.
Different cycle going. Maybe she wasn't the first to do it. I like that. Are we ever going to find out how time works here? Like, how have people there been around for hundreds of years? OB with his cryptic ass, he's like, no, don't do it now. It's now, but it isn't for a little bit. And like, just all the rest of the crazy shit he's saying. Like, first he's going to build the loom. It's going to take him an hour. And then all of a sudden he's like, you have an hour. You have 5 minutes. So what? He's just going to go rebuild this whole loom in 5 minutes now? Like 5 minutes is he can build it in 5 minutes just as easily as he can in an hour? Like, how does time work here, Phantom?
Hey, I took it as television time. 5 minutes, was an hour.
Like, that was just crazy. That was absolutely crazy.
And you saw how long it took for him just to take a step?
Exactly.
Like, come on, that was more than 5 minutes. Come on.
Oh, dude, that was insane. Duct tape fixes everything. It's awesome. Then Hunter comes in to let him know that General Dox and company are completely raiding the armory. They're going after Sylvie. And I don't think Loki's looking forward to doing this any more than Mobius is, because he was really quick to be like using an excuse to go, like, oh, Sylvie, yeah, let's go do that. Mobius is like, no, we have one shot at this. We're not going to miss it. Like, Loki was quick to not want to go out there.
Yeah.
But Loki time slips and drops the boomstick. Like, are you still going through with a plan that can peel the skin off your body after he drops the ball right out of the gate like that, Phantom?
Yeah, you only live once.
You're like, yeah, he'll find another one. He'll get there.
YOLO.
Oh, dude, I was like, oh my god, you did not just drop the main piece of this point. Oh my god, yeah, that was bad. And even more so, are you walking into that radiation zone, like I said, with that crack in your helmet? Just duct tape. No, duct tape does not fix everything in the universe. I am not chancing it when you just told me what that radiation is going to do to my skin. I'd have been like, strike two, motherfucker, you out. I'm not trying to be out.
Especially, and we did see what it was doing to the suit.
Yeah,
So no, thank you.
I'll take it. Oh, that duct tape ain't lasting through that. But seeing Mobius walk out there all heavy and clumsy, I did not get the feeling like he was going to be hoofing it anywhere in that thing. He's like, get ready to see a hoof like you never seen before. He's like, okay.
Okay.
Nothing impresses this kid.
Like, does he even know what that means?
Probably, but he's been around for thousands of years, and just there's nothing that impresses him anymore. Just like He Who Remains, he's seen it all already, and that's why I'm just really, who is this cat? But you know what it kind of looks like out there? It kind of looks like the quantum realm. So is that how Kang took over? Like he got sent here, found the TVA, and then used it to take over all? Like all the other Kangs sent him to the quantum realm. He found this place, and then he used this place to take over everything?
Sent who to the quantum realm?
We know from Ant-Man and the Wasp that the other Kangs sent that Kang to the quantum realm. That's how he got there.
Mm-hmm.
So did he get sent there, travel the quantum realm, find out that the TVA is there, figure out how powerful it is, and figured out that he could use the TVA to take over and conquer all the other Kangs, and that's how he took over everything?
Not from the quantum realm.
You don't think that's how that happened?
No, I don't think that would suffice for anything, because that Kang, he couldn't get out of the quantum realm without building like that special machine that Janet helped him with. So I don't think he would be able to take over anything.
Unless you mean after he got sucked into that.
That's what I'm saying. He didn't know where he was stuck, and then he got sent in. We know. I mean, I don't believe anybody thinks he died when he got sucked into that thing. So what if he got sucked into that temporal whatever it was? It wasn't quite as crazy as it is now, but he saw that, walked back in, and then either built OB or found OB or whatever, had him build a loom to kind of construct it to the way he wanted it, and then he basically, like when he got sucked into some part of the TVA and was able, like, oh, this is here, let me just take this over real quick and use it to my benefit.
I don't know. I would need more evidence on that storyline.
I mean, we know that the TVA exists, and we know that he's running it. So how did those two come to be?
Wait, you know that who's running it?
Kang.
The Kang that was in the quantum realm is not He Who Remains. That's a different one.
Well, I mean,
that's not the same one.
It's just a different variant of himself. It's just like all the different Lokis out there. I mean, these are just all different variants of Kangs, and one of them is running this place. So you think there was a different one of them running this place, and maybe he ran into him, and one of them killed each other? Yeah, they're gonna have to explain all that.
Yeah.
It would semi make sense if the TVA is in the quantum realm and it would explain its time acceptance. Yeah, exactly, because we already know that time works differently there. Like Karen Van Dyne was telling us, Hope Van Dyne was telling us about that, or her mom was telling us about that. So yeah, I think we're definitely going to find out that the TVA is in the quantum realm. How do you feel about that, Phantom? Is the TVA? I mean, maybe not about Kang, but is the TVA itself inside the quantum realm?
No, I think it's outside of it.
You don't think so? Wow, I'm gonna stand alone on this hill. I think it's 100% in the quantum. It just looked like it. I mean, the background looked the same. I mean, they shot it the same. I mean, yeah, that could just be special effects, but I don't know. I'm going with it's definitely in the quantum realm. I'll stand on that hill alone. But yeah, Loki seems to have been sent to the future. He runs like frantically through the TVA looking for a time stick, but it looks like time has run out. The clock has just gone green and he still hasn't found one. But is that a thing? Like, we know time works different here. So if you miss the first window, couldn't you just keep going back until you get it right? Like, there's no time here, right?
In that space, I don't think so. Within the building, there's no time, but out there with like all that temporal energy that's out there, I don't think that's how it works.
Maybe. And then
I mean, we'll see.
The TVA seemed empty in the future. Like, any guesses on like who that was calling on the phone, Phantom?
Trying to remember the scene of
at the end of the episode when Loki was running around the TVA looking for a prune stick to get himself, and it was totally empty, but the phone kept ringing, and then he finally walked up to the phone and he was just about to answer it, and then he looked over and saw Sylvie open the elevator.
No clue.
Any ideas, AK, who that might have been calling in on the phone?
Yeah, I don't know.
feel it. Oh, I think that just when he seems like he's going to answer it, we see Sylvie prying open those elevator doors, saying, "There you are," and then he gets pruned. So that tells me that we are definitely seeing two different timelines play out at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
So now we know things are gonna get wonky. We're on two different timelines. And the way she said, "There you are," made me feel like she's there at the TVA in that timeline with Loki, which makes me think that it was actually Loki who pruned himself. I think it was Loki who called himself so he'd be there at that phone at that time so he could walk up and prune him. I think we're going to find out that it's Loki that pruned himself. AK thinks that it's Renslayer that pruned him. Who are you going with, Phantom?
No, I think it's Loki.
You think Loki pruned himself?
Yeah.
I definitely think that's what happened, but it'll be interesting to see, find out.
Mm-hmm.
And they weren't kidding. Like Liza Aaron and company have totally cleaned out the armory. Like they look like they are going to war. B-15 says all this for Sylvie, and I'm with D90. Like he's not buying it, and neither do I. Are they going to like try to prune back all the timelines, or is something else happening, AK?
I definitely think something else is happening. You do not get that much firepower, even for someone that is as clever avoiding them as Sylvie is. There would be no need for that much firepower.
Right.
And that many of them going out at one time. What was it, like maybe 30, 40 of those agents that were going out with all those time bombs and whatnot?
Mm-hmm.
Nah, there's definitely something else going on. And that is why I think, again, license sus as hell.
Oh, yeah. I think they're going back to try to, they're like going to jump authority and like tell to what the judge is saying. And I love how the judge's name is Judge Gamble. That's just perfect. But I love how I don't think they're gonna. I think they're gonna override the judge, and they're gonna go back and like the hell with what you're saying. We're pruning all these timelines back, and I think that's what they're doing with all those bombs. They're gonna go back and try to prune them back and get things back to the way they were. But we shall see. What do you think is gonna happen with all that, Phantom? Where are they taking all that?
Because didn't they mention like, oh, we need to find out what happened at the end of time?
Mm-hmm.
So at one point I was like, wait, are they going to the end of time or something?
So you think they're just going there to fight whatever it might be, and maybe even take on the cloud of death with all those bombs?
Maybe. But then I remember in the trailer there was like that whole fight scene with Sylvie, so who knows?
And where was Miss Minutes this episode? Like it seems like she was there. She was the one keeping everything running smoothly. Is that the real reason things are running so haywire all over the TVA? Is because she's missing AK?
That is a possibility. That is a possibility. I feel like she's just off somewhere else, either hiding out or just maybe waiting for the right time to pop out again. More info is needed again.
Well, you already know I got to have some crazy tinfoil for this theory or for the series. So let's just get it started. We did not see Renslayer, but we did see a female statue head in the corner of the room. So are they like trying to set up that Kang and Renslayer as a thing? Like we kind of heard that in the video or in the tape recording. It seems like he's in love with her. And I guess in the comments, like he's totally in love with her and she just always denies him or whatever. But are they going to try to set up Kang and Renslayer as a thing? And we've already seen them switch up the gender thing and bring like a female Loki into it, which of course, you know, how could Loki not fall in love with himself? And Loki falls for her. So are they going to do the same thing with Kang? And we're going to find out that Renslayer is just another female form of Kang that he fell in love for, like Loki did with Sylvie?
That would be interesting as hell.
What do we think about that?
I don't think that's what's going to happen, but I adore that theory. I'm here for it. I like it.
I was thinking that. I was like, that would be so, I mean, that'd be the ultimate tie-in. It would make so much sense. I could totally see him doing something like that, and that would be amazing. So we find out that Renslayer is just another form of Kang, and he is falling in love because, of course, these guys are nuts and narcissists. They're going to fall in love with themselves.
And he specifically said, you know, thank you for standing by me and choosing my side. So that could just be an alliance with himself that, yeah, is in the form of Renslayer.
Well, we know that the Kangs are all battling themselves. Like he's fighting, the Kangs are fighting each other. So maybe he's thanking this Kang for picking his side against all the other Kangs. So yeah, that makes sense. Who's the giant robot head? What do you mean? The robot heads were just the robot heads. Who was speaking for him? You mean? I don't know. I don't know what you mean.
I don't know. I want to say those were just recordings.
Who made them?
whichever Kang made that one. And I'm assuming that it was He Who Remains.
Also, it did seem like when Five and Mobius was talking, they said, "Oh, he wants us to prune like these branching timelines." It's like, was He Remains like still like running the show and like in the flesh?
Or left directions, maybe.
Yeah.
Left
And,
recordings, left notes.
and then decided to do the whole machines thing later on. Like that's weird. Like, but
Yeah.
The robot head that was on the desk in the war room. I remember Sylvie
Yeah, that
picked up the robot head after they had chopped it off. She picked it up, so I don't know. Somebody else probably just picked it up and put it on there. The general.
yeah, that's what I think.
Yeah, they just picked it up and like, look, this is what it's come to. Like, yeah. So that's how they picked a new judges council and getting things going in a new direction. So the first episode out, we get an extra scene, and it's Sylvie visiting a McDonald's, and it seems like Eden to her. Like she just says she wants to try everything, and the cashier thinks that she's talking about the menu, but she's on a whole nother plane. Like I think she's talking about life and making up for lost time. What do you think about that, fandom?
oh, the life and the damn menu.
She wants it all.
Both.
Who again? You're trying the freaking McNuggets for the very first time. Like this is like literally it. Like I would want to go back in time just to try. Okay, how good were the nuggets when they first came out versus how they are now?
A whole different species. Absolutely.
Maybe real chicken.
Could have been real chicken back then. Oh man, what do we think of this episode, AK? First one out.
First one out the gate, I'm gonna give it a solid 8.25 because there was a lot of action. You know, the clues was there. You know, the level of sus that some of these characters was on point. So I'm looking forward to unraveling the mystery.
Nice. How about you, Phantom? How'd you feel about this one?
I'll give it a 7.
Feel it? 7. Yep. You're just kind of like wait and see.
Yeah, wait and see.
Man, I was absolutely loving this one. I think they dropped the groundwork amazing. I love the back and forth. I've forgotten how good and how witty it was. I mean, they basically were walking through rooms talking about time, and I was entertained and intrigued as hell. So, yeah, I think it's going to be amazing. I can't wait to see they do it, and I think they set up a lot. I think they're just going to show that this whole thing's going to be an Ouroboros. I think everything's happening all in the same time. It's just a time loop, and we're just going to keep going around in a circle. I think that Loki pruned himself. I think he had to prune himself to get himself to come back to do this, and it's all just one big circle going round and round and round. And basically, that's how this whole season's going to be. Like it's.
You know what universe you just connected for me there in my brain?
What's that?
Everything, everywhere, all at once.
Yeah.
And who was one of the stars in that movie?
Don't spoil.
I don't know. I'm just referencing the cast, not what happened.
Oh, he's in it?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. He's a very important part of it also.
Yep.
Oh, that's weird.
But yeah, I think this is I think they're showing us, like I said, I think this whole thing, the way they said that this is an Ouroboros, and an Ouroboros, the start and the beginning are all the same. I think we're seeing the finale in this opening episode. I think the finale is basically things are going down. Either they're going to run the TVA, or the TVA is exploding, or something's happening. And this Sylvie and Loki are going through the TVA, and they have to prune this Loki to make whatever happen. And I think that we just saw a part of what we're going to see in the finale. I think they're going to be showing us the end and the beginning at the same time all the way through the season. And it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, I think the evidence supports that. Yeah, because the one coming off that elevator at that point in time was definitely 80s Sophie.
Right.
So yeah, I like it.
I think that's what's going to happen. That's what I got out of the first episode, and that just intrigued the hell out of me, and I am here for it. So can't wait to see the next one, and, well, we're going to get it. And as usual, we got a couple trivia questions we're going to end this episode on, so if you see what everybody remembers, if you know these answers, write them in the chat box. If you're watching later, put them in the comment section down below. Where did Casey tell Loki he could find Mobius and B-15 when he returned?
On the docks.
Ooh. Where did
I
Casey
want
go?
to say the War Room, but
Hey, there it is. Bada boom, bada bing. The War
I
Room.
couldn't remember if they brought it up that early.
Absolutely correct. The War Room. Who told Mobius and B-15 they were wanted in the War Room?
Oh, like
Wasn't it
Sans,
X5?
yeah, like saying, oh, was it
X5.
yeah, there you
Yeah,
go.
X5. Yep.
X5. Absolutely correct. How long did the poster say to limit your lunch breaks to?
2 minutes,
Oh, that'd be fast. Incorrect. 2 minute
5
lunch break.
minutes,
Brutal.
15, 20.
Oh
I
man.
don't know.
He said, sounds complicated. This season's going to be complicated, but it's going to be
I
fun.
think so too.
30 minutes.
War Room, correct. X5.
What? 2 hours? Maybe. I don't know.
Is it X5 Docs? Is that his name? I didn't know his name was Docs. I just thought his name was X5.
No, they did say something else. I think that is correct.
If I look
His
back and
Docs.
see it, then that shows that they're related, and that's definitely our son. I mean, I don't think they're married. So, I mean, yeah, that would because that's General Docs. So if General Docs and this is X5 Docs, then yeah, they're definitely related. But yeah, I did not see. I never heard X5 heard X5 Docs, so that'll be interesting. I have to check that out. And yes, 17 minutes, absolutely correct. Well done, Jake. What kind of pop machine was against the wall in Obi's office in the past?
Pepsi or Coke, or was it a
Could have been
flavor?
a Loki Funko in that room.
There might have been. You just didn't spot it yet. Oh, what kind of pop machine was against the wall in Obi's office back in the past? Somebody had to notice this one. Which one was it? And keeping it moving, what did Obi say happens to you if you fall into a black hole?
Turn to spaghetti.
Turn into spaghetti. Fanta is incorrect, Jake. It's a good guess for back in the past, though. What did Mobius? I know Phantom's got this one. What did Mobius write in dust on that old computer?
Skin question mark.
Skin question mark. 100%. And last but not least, what year was Sylvia in during that extra scene?
1852.
Oh, that is incorrect.
No, it was
859.
1982.
Hey, there it is. 1982.
It was the 80s.
Ended up with a bang. Extra credit. Anybody know where it was? Where she was?
Broxton or Broxton something?
Broxton.
Because I remember when I looked at it, it made me think of Cloak and Dagger because of Roxanne Corp.
Yeah.
I got it. 82. Oh, it was 82. It was Broxton. Anybody know where Broxton was?
Mississippi? Alabama?
Jake nails it and brings it.
Oklahoma. There you go.
There you go. Oh, nicely done. Nicely done. So that's going to do it for us. Oh, man, Loki off and running season 2, and I am here for it. Can't wait for the next one, man. They got me hook, line, and sinker right out of the gate. Loki is definitely one of my favorite Marvel series, so, man, I can't wait to see where they go from here. It's going to be awesome. So I already know we're going to be back on Thursday. We're going to be doing the Generation V. They are way ahead of us. They're already getting out there. We are not going to do 4 episodes in one stream. That would be way too long.
Nah.
We're just going to break it down 2 at a time. So we're going to do episodes 1 and 2. Next week we'll do 2 at 3 and 4, and then by the next week 5 and 6 we'll be caught back up with everybody. So we're just going to break it down like that, do it like that, and we will be here for Gen V episodes 1 and 2 on Thursday. So I hope everybody out there is having an absolutely fantastic week, and it only gets better from here until we see you on Thursday. Be easy, everybody.